What's going on, boys, and welcome back to the weekly recap. This week is week's 5 edition, and yeah, let's get started. Going to the final standings projections over here because I do like looking at these now. Um, I like making fun of them mostly. It now completely hates the top 3 teams, one of which being Finn, who is 4-1, coming off a win against me. And its new top 3 teams are Tony, Mateo, and I, which I think Brian at 4 should be above all of us. So I think this is completely full of shit. But whatever. I digress. I digress. There's also a trade that with me and Phil today. I want everyone to look at this trade and ignore the ESPN projections. I don't care what they say about Aaron Jones and James Robinson. They're in the same exact position right now. James Robinson RB 15, Aaron Jones RB 14. Um, they both have a running back who's getting a lot of work. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones's backup, has is RB 33, and Travis Etienne, James Robinson's backup, is RB 35. They're in the same exact position. Um, James Robinson, Aaron Jones, the presumed starters, and the ones mostly getting their work taken away from them. James Robinson's been mostly carried by his top 3 performances, but Aaron Jones has been carried by just his week 2 performance mostly. I don't know how you can project Aaron Jones 13.3 when he's gone above that once this season. Um, and you could project James Robinson 8.6. I don't understand that. Uh, Another weird thing about projections, Jerry Judy projected 9.65. He's gone above that twice. Michael Thomas has also gone above that twice, and he didn't play the last 2 games. And I didn't trade him an injured player. It's considered likely to return to action week 6 against the Bengals, so he's coming back. Michael Thomas could be good, and Olave's in concussion protocol. I don't understand how they don't think Michael Thomas is going to outscore Judy. So please ignore fantasy projections. This trade is even, and if you don't think so, I think you're wrong, and you should get Crocs. We're gonna get right into the review now. Anyways, the Finn and I matchup is actually came down to Monday night. I needed him to score less than 21 from his 2 players playing on Monday in order for me to have any hope to win. And his 2 players playing on Monday scored 58. Travis Kelce had 4 touchdowns and only 25 yards, and Josh Jacobs is actually the truth. So yeah, he almost tripled the total I needed him to get less than, and it turned out to be a blowout rather than a close game. So absolute demolition job by Finn. Josh Jacobs, Travis Kelce, and Cooper Kupp carry the way. Tough performances from J.K. Dobbins for me. That Ravens game was a little rough. James Robinson, who they were passing the whole game. I didn't understand. I don't understand how they could have such trouble with Houston, but I digress. It's kind of why the reason he's gone right now. I wanted an upgrade at running back. And yeah, overall it's a good win for Finn. He goes to 4-1, and I'm 2-3. Not out of the division, but it's a tough loss. The Mateo Mark matchup. We're gonna look at Mateo's team here first, mostly carried by Mostert, Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews, and Olave. Geno Smith on the bench, I believe. Yeah, he could be the truth going forward. I know Brian's brain is stuck in 2015, but Geno Smith is a good quarterback this season. I think he's like QB top 5. He's QB 6. So that's a little funny. It's also like almost 10 o'clock here. Oh, I wanted to point this out, but look at this. They're trying to they're trying to take over. They're making an they're making a Facebook style little chat for us to start talking shit in. Well, we made a Discord, so ignore this. Fuck this. Ignore it completely. Back to the matchup. Uh, Obviously the trade acquisitions Mark got in Everett and Kirk kind of let him down. Get Mark 2.3 points from the two. Russell Wilson's supposed to be MVP candidate. Also has a tough game. Losing this matchup by 5 and having your quarterback put up 9.6, you hate to see that. So overall, good win for Mateo. 2 wins in a row, if I believe correct. Actually, I forget. Whatever. Good win for Mateo. Gets him to 3-2. Mark, little tough loss, gets him to 2-3. Uh, Phil can't buy a win. Um, let's talk about Tony's team first. Tony scored 163.76. That puts him in the second highest scoring week of all time. I'm sorry for creating this monster. Josh Allen put up 35, Derrick Henry 26, Dalvin Cook 25, DK Metcalf 15, Tyler Lockett, who I just threw into the trade, had 25, Marcus Valdes-Scantling had 12, Justin Tucker, the kicker, had 16, Ravens defense had 8, and the 1.1 he got, he had a tight end on his bench who scored 11. He could have got the record. Tony beat him by 91. God damn. Yeah, Phil's gonna destroy this points against leaderboard. That is not even in question. Just a tough loss. Just a tough loss. I'm not gonna go in on this and say what Phil needs to improve because he's starting to try to improve the team. Um, T Higgins goes down, so he has a vacancy at receiver he needs to fill. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Tough loss for Phil, but in a 14-week season, you can easily come back from 0-5. I say easily because you have 9 more games, but you do have to win a lot more. So maybe not easily, but you could come back from this. Greg gets the win above Vinny. Greg's Patrick Mahomes is always going to get his. The running backs, God, his fucking running backs actually carried. I think they almost got 60 combined. The 3 running backs he got almost got 60. That's crazy. Still, another thing, complete goose egg from the tight end position. Greg's wide receivers keep stinking it up. Uh, but he gets the win here. Vinny gets a really underwhelming performance. Lamar upsets Zeke and Najee upset CD, and even Mike gets below his projected. The only one who did anything of good was Danny Carlson, Dallas Goddard, and the Bills defense. Tough matchup for Vinny. He's 2-3 though. You can still come back from this. Greg's win actually gets him to 2-3. So I think like something like 7 teams in our league are either 2-3 or 3-2. That's where a lot of the playoff battle is going to be for the playoff positions. We'll see how that pans out. And Josh is going to get haunted by Devontae Adams for the rest of his life. Uh, I think I think Josh needed Devontae to get less than 28 against me in the championship, and Devontae got like 35 to get me the win. I think Devontae needed to get less than 22 to get him the win this week against Devin, and Devontae got 25.9. Devontae Adams was just forever going to just bury Josh. Josh actually has good performances from Tom Brady, his running backs, and the wide receivers didn't do as bad. Projected 21. I think they get 19 or 18.6. Like, could have been worse. Losing by I think 4 and then having your defense get -1, that sucks. Like, you gain 3 points by just starting the Giants defense who didn't even do that well. That sucks. It's a tough loss for Josh, but again, 1-4, you just need to climb your way up to the middle of the pack and fight for these playoff spots. So 1-4 doesn't cement Josh, but it is kind of a big hole to get out of. Another tough loss in a row. Josh also 88 is Josh's highest scoring week on the year. He he has been having some trouble scoring. I think he'll find it out though. I think he'll find it out. Tough loss. Good win for Devin. I have to talk about Devin's team a little bit because I know he listens to these. Mostly gets carried by Tay and David Montgomery. Kyler has an okay game, but then everyone else just kind of has meh games. 8.4 and 8.5 is not awful single digit points, but like you want more from Jamar Chase and Pittman, someone you've invested a lot in. You're gonna have an issue here at running back too, Devin. You might need to get into the trading game, but we'll see. We'll see. Moving on. 2 3-1 matchups, but Brian shows to be the bigger juggernaut here. Guys, we have to seriously worry about Brian. Just to show you, Austin Eckler got 33.9 and his backup got 15.2. The Chargers running backs is an insane combination to have. So, what a pickup by Brian there. Nick Chubb is RB2. You think would be RB2 is actually RB1 on the season. He gets 25.4 with no catches, just in the running game with like over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns again. So Nick Chubb is a fucking tank. Mike Williams does well. AJ Brown, Frymuth, and Miles Sanders do meh. But then you look on his bench. Brian again finished the week with 130. You look on his bench. He had Gabe Davis who had 30 by himself on the bench. He had Mari Cooper with 17.1 on the bench. You know, Curtis Samuel getting 9.2 on the bench is still pretty good. Like, Brian is a problem. Don't know how to fully deal with him. So we'll see how that goes. This is how the standings are affected after today's or last week's results. Again, 3-4-1 teams, 7 teams in the 3-2 and 2-3 range, and only Phil and Josh with the 1-4 and 0-5 records. Again, 14-week season. A lot can happen with 9 games left. You can easily bounce back from this. If you're, yeah, honestly, there's a lot that can happen. The season is so fucking long. Yeah. Just to review, not to review. I just want to look at the week 6 matchups now, because I have an idea. I pulled them all up. Now, we're going to start with Greg and I. Greg is actually one of my kryptonite pieces, guys. Greg is one of the few people that I'm actually below 500 against. He's actually one of the worst I have. I'm 2-4 against him. I think, yeah, he won the last matchup. I'm coming off a loss. Yeah, so Greg's just one of those people that could easily beat me, man. He seems to do it with ease. So I need this matchup since I'm now below 500, fighting to get back to even. Greg coming off a win. Anything can happen. Next matchup is Vinny versus Finn. Finn is going to have some issues here, I'm noticing. Josh Jacobs and Brandon Cooks on bye. Interesting, interesting. Oh, he's going to need to make some moves. Okay, okay. Awesome. All right, we're going to see how the Vinny and Finn matchup looks in the league history. Uh, is that? Oh, that was Vinny. All right, here we are. Wow. All right, so Vinny seems to dominate this matchup, and it's with really high scoring games 124, 123, 111, 133, 146. He did have that one Finn win where Finn scored 53 for the win, but goddamn. Yeah, kind of like dominating here, so we'll see what happens with the context of this season, but that kind of surprised me. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting that. Now, next matchup after that is the trade matchup. Now, this matchup's going to be reflective on the trade, of course. Connor has gone back into the lineup. Pitts is returning, and he still won't start Juju. While it seems that Debo, Kirk, and Everett are all starting for Mark. Uh, the trade will be the highlight of this matchup, but let's see what the past has said about this matchup. Relatively even, 3-2 overall. If we're looking at patterns here, Mark, Josh, Mark, Josh, Mark. Josh might get the win here, so I hope Josh gets the win here since Mark's a scumbag. But we'll see what happens moving forward. I will be looking at the trade pieces too. Going to be a main highlight of that matchup. Austin, I noticed, is going through a apocalypse. Damian Pierce, Amon Ra, DeAndre Swift can't even return. Penny's losing. Yeah, Austin has some problems here. Um, let's see if Phil could finally get some stuff together here. He's not starting Michael Thomas, but we'll see. We'll see. How's this matchup looked? Phil Austin 9-1. Is this the most dominating matchup? Austin's won 8 straight? Since when? 2017? 8 and 0? Phil, we gotta pounce. We gotta pounce on this bad week from Austin. Because that is crazy. 8 and 0 since 2017 against you, Phil. We need to beat that. Damian Harris is doubtful. Oh no. So the trade I did with him made sense. Getting James Robinson was actually important. Okay, okay. Moving on, this is a huge matchup. My team, 1 and 2 teams on the season. It's Brian versus Tony. Derrick Henry bye, TJ Hawkinson bye. Seems to be the only one. Brian with no buys. So I will say the advantage is to Brian, but anything could happen. Tony being in my conference, kind of hope Tony loses, but we'll see. How's league history showed this rivalry to be? We seem to have it at, relatively even. Pretty even average score, 4-3, a little favoring towards Brian. Brian did win 4 straight, but Tony got the win last year in pretty good fashion. Honestly, yeah, pretty good matchup overall. We'll see how that one turns out. And last but not least, we have Brian, not Brian, Mateo and Devin. Mateo has a bye issue as well with Tay and Jamal Williams missing. Let's see how history's proven this matchup to be. Even 5-5. Um, the thing to make it even was the last year's playoff matchup too. That's crazy. Fresh off the playoff match. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Little playoff grudge match. 5-5. The winner takes the most wins in this matchup too. This is crazy. All right, so that's about it. That's all I had for you guys. A little longer today because I went through every matchup a little more in depth than usual. I'm gonna look at the standings to finish this off. And yeah, uh, still a lot can happen. Um, I'm sending weeklies out again. I want to make sure I'm up to date on weeklies. And yeah, that should be about it. Playoff 43% I'm going down. But thanks, boys. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and I will see you guys next week. That made no fucking sense. Ignore how I ended this video. Just yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.